Alright Blues, let's talk about what's been doing the rounds this week regarding our right back situation. We all know Pep's been scratching his head about that position since Walker's legs started showing their age, and it's become crystal clear that we need proper reinforcement down that flank. Now, TINO LIVRAMENTO's been the name on everyone's lips, hasn't he? The lad's been absolutely class for Newcastle, and you can see why City's board have been keeping tabs. At just 20 outward at 22, he's got that pace, versatility, and hunger that fits perfectly into Pep's system. The kind of player who could slot right in and not look out of place in our title-chasing squad. But here's where it gets interesting, and if you're enjoying this deep dive into City's transfer moves, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we're bringing you all the inside stories as they develop. Right, back to business. According to Craig Hope from the Daily Mail, City aren't messing about with their interest. We're talking about a genuine $65 million bid that's been considered, which shows just how highly the club rates this young England international. The problem? Newcastle aren't budging. Not for $65 million, not for $165 million. They're treating Livramento like he's the crown jewels. Eddie Howe's made it clear that the lad's untouchable, and you can understand why. When you've got a 22-year-old who's played over 2,800 Premier League minutes and looks like he's only getting better, why would you let him go to a direct rival? What's particularly telling is that Livramento and Lewis Hall apparently see Newcastle as the perfect place for their development. That's a massive vote of confidence in Howe's project, and it shows that not every young player is desperate to jump ship to the biggest clubs immediately. Sometimes consistent game time and proper development trumps the glamour of the Etihad. For us Blues, this means Cheeky and the recruitment team are back to the drawing board. We've got Matheus Nunes, Rico Lewis, and possibly Akanji sharing right-back duties, which isn't exactly the most reassuring thought going into a season where we're chasing another title. Rico's got bags of potential, but asking him to be our primary right-back option while he's still finding his feet might be a risk too far. The frustrating thing is that Livramento would have been perfect. He's got that modern fullback profile, can defend, can attack, comfortable in possession, and at 22 he'd have been a long-term solution rather than a quick fix. But Newcastle holding firm shows they're serious about building something special, and fair play to them for not bending over backwards for a big check. What this really highlights is how the landscape has changed. Gone are the days when City could just throw money at a problem and expect it to disappear. Newcastle's financial backing means they don't need to sell, and that's making life difficult for clubs like us who are used to getting our targets. So where does this leave us? Well, we'll need to look elsewhere, won't we? The market's still open, and there are other options out there. Maybe we go for someone completely different, or perhaps we put more faith in what we've already got and see how Rico develops. Is this Newcastle's statement moment, showing they're not intimidated by the traditional Big Six anymore? Or are we simply moving on to better options that haven't been leaked to the press yet? Let me know what you think in the comments below.